My wife won't have sex with me. Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach. And today I wanted to talk about the topic of my wife won't have sex with me. So, first and foremost, I wanted to say you are not alone. This is actually a very common issue that we see here on Happily Committed. And I say this all the time, but I feel like I always need to reiterate it when it comes to the topic and the subject of sex. Sex is a choice, it is not a responsibility in your relationship. Therefore, there are going to be times in which your wife is just not in the mood, or stresses of life are affecting her sexual drive and the intimacy within your relationship. Respecting those choices is crucial in maintaining the trust and the mutual respect within your relationship. Now, if it is something that is consistent all the time and you feel like you are constantly being rejected in the bedroom, then there may be a deeper rooted issue here. But just so you feel like you are not alone, Newsweek magazine did a survey and the results estimated that between 15 to 20% of couples are in a sexless marriage. Most of the time, relationships get into a routine, the monotony of the daily life, work, kids, chores, errands. There are so many different things that can start to take priority and your relationship starts to take a back seat. But gentlemen, there's one thing that you guys have to understand. Sex isn't just sex for your wife. You have to get your wife in the mood. She has to be in the mood. There are things that you have to do in order to get her to want to have sex. With men, it's a little bit easier. I'm not saying this is the case for every man because there are absolutely men out there who are a little bit more in tune with the emotional side of intimacy and sex and all of those types of things. But you can't just expect to have sex and poof, all of a sudden your wife is going to want to have sex. It does not work that way. So, here are some things that you can do to try to get your wife in the mood to improve the intimacy within your relationship. Let's get right into it. Number one, the element of surprise. Surprising your wife, surprising your girlfriend can be a fantastic way to get her in the mood. As I mentioned before, we get into the routine of a relationship and we kind of just slump into the monotony of our everyday lives. And what ends up happening is that spark, that excitement, that adventure ends up dying in the relationship. And you almost feel as if you are living day to day and the days are starting to blend. So, by surprising your wife, by doing something that you usually do not do, it's exciting again, it's adventurous, and it's also something that can be exciting for you too. Stepping outside of your comfort zone. So what do I mean when I say the element of surprise? Plan a random weekend getaway. Do something that you usually would not do. Take your girlfriend or your wife to a theme park. Something that you have not done in a long time or have never done that is going to be different and outside of the routine of your regular relationship. Tip number 2, step outside of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is where things go to die. You only grow when you step outside of your comfort zone. Now, that can be as an individual or that can be in a relationship. But the important thing here is that you are growing together. So if there are things that you have on a bucket list that you have not been able to do yet, or maybe you and your spouse have a bucket list together that you guys have not started to check off, start checking off that list, doing things that bring that excitement and that spark back into the relationship. Because if you are able to experience those things together and you can step out of your comfort zone together, it will bring about a different dynamic in your relationship. Your perception of each other will change. And remember, one of the keys to attraction is adrenaline. So by doing something that you are not comfortable with, you will automatically start to really increase that level of adrenaline in each other and in your relationship. Tip 3, make time. I know that seems like a very simple concept and it's not overly complicated, but at the end of the day, it's probably the most important one. Because if you are not making time and you are not investing time in your relationship, then none of these other things can happen. How will you make time to surprise your spouse? How will you make time to step outside of your comfort zone? None of that can happen unless you are willing to push that up your priority list. And making time also shows your partner and your spouse that you are committed and that you are invested in the relationship and you still are attracted to them and love them and want to do things to make them happy. So make time. Whether that's you writing it into your schedule, which may seem so insensitive or disconnected, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out what works for you. You have to create a system that works for you. So if you are a busy dude and you are constantly on the go and doing multiple different things, you have to put that time into your calendar for you to be able to do it. Number 4, do not pressure your wife. Pressuring your wife into having sex is probably the worst thing that you can do. I know you may be approaching it from well, I haven't had sex in a long time. I'm incredibly attracted to you. I just want to be physical with you. I just want the intimacy in our relationship to be better. But if your wife is not being intimate with you, and if your wife is not in the mood to have sex and you pressure her, that will only have a negative result. You will actually only create more issues in your relationship. Your wife will be frustrated. She will resent you, and it will honestly create a bigger crack in the foundation of your relationship than you had before. So do not pressure your wife. You have to be patient. You have to be empathetic. And you should be trying all of these different tips before it even gets to a place that you feel like you should be pressuring your wife. But like I said, pressuring your wife is the worst thing that you can do. And if you've already been pressuring your wife, then stop. It's okay. You maybe were not fully aware of what you were doing, but you have to make the conscious decision to not do that. So just to reiterate the 4 tips. The first one is surprising your wife. The second one is stepping out of your comfort zone. The third one is making time. And the fourth one is not pressuring your wife. If you feel like you related to this topic, if you feel like you connected to it, please make sure you are hitting the like and the subscribe button below. If you are currently in this situation or you have been in this situation before, I would love to hear from you. Even if you just have any general questions about any of our other subjects or the subject that I'm speaking about today, please make sure you put that in the comment box below. If you are not fully comfortable leaving a comment, please make sure you visit us at happilycommitted.com, where we have a multitude of different articles related to this subject and many other subjects as well. You can also book a one-on-one coaching session with either myself or any of the other amazing coaches that we have on the team. I also wanted to take a second to talk about breaking routine. So in this subject matter, in this topic, I talk about ways to break the routine to get your wife in the mood. I actually have a training that I have created to help you learn how to break that routine far more in depth and a little bit more detailed. Please make sure you are clicking on that link to go to that training and help you to break the routine in your relationship and have an incredibly successful relationship. Again, my name is Danny. I'm your life and relationship coach. I hope you guys are staying happy and healthy, and I hope to see you guys soon.